really, really thank you guys for taking your time to be here with us tonight. So if you are here, it's probably because you've expressed some kind of an interest in coaching. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be sharing with you a little bit more about what it is that we do, and a little bit more about the coaching opportunity, and hopefully clarify, some of the questions that you may have. So I am going to record because I know not everybody was able to make it tonight. So we are going to record this, and we're going to share with the people that missed it. So if you have any questions as we're going through this, it may sound a little overwhelming because there is a lot of information. But if at any point you have a question about anything that I said, you're welcome to put it into the chat box underneath, and I'll read it at the end, and then we'll clarify anything that is not clear. All right, so I am going to share a screen, and in the screen, it has a PowerPoint. It's less for you guys and more for me, more because I am a little bit of a squirrel and I will go everywhere with these on these calls, because I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm very passionate about what I'm going to share with you guys tonight. So it's very easy for me to get distracted and just go on all kinds of different tangents. But we're going to try to stick to the topic and honor your time. So this should take about 30 minutes, not more than that. So like I said, if at any point you have any questions, please, please, please let us know so we can clarify at the end. So most of you guys, I think, would probably know me, but if you don't, my name is Bianca O'Brien. I am 41 years old. I have been a coach since 2013. I'm a mom. I have 3 kids. One is 18, my middle one is 7, and my little one, Valentina, is 5. I am also a flight attendant. I've been working with Delta for 12. It's going on 12 years. And I am a registered nurse, though I don't work in a hospital anymore. It was actually through this opportunity that I was able to quit my nursing job at the hospital. That was about almost 4 years ago. And I have never looked back. I was a single mom for a really long time. And as I was flying, I realized, with my daughter Melanie, that I wasn't a very present mom. I was always gone, and she was always, being taken care of by someone else and not me. And I realized at that point that I really needed to do something else that was going to allow me to stay home and be with my child. And the only thing that I ever knew how to do was be a flight attendant. So I decided that I was going to learn a new trade, and I went to school and I became a registered nurse. I graduated in 2010 after a lot of struggle. And then right around that same time, about a week after I graduated, I met my now husband, and we got married. We moved from New York City and we moved to Florida when I was pregnant with my middle one, Allie. So that was 7 years ago. And when I got down here, I started looking for a nursing job, right? Because I had that degree and I hadn't really done anything with it. And so I was still flying. I was still working full time for Delta, and I had Allie, who was super little, and I got a job at a hospital, and I started working as a nurse, and I started learning how to be a nurse, because at that point I had a degree, but I had never worked as a nurse. So I was very busy, right? I had a little baby, a new husband, and trying to figure things out down here in Florida. I was very lonely because I didn't know anybody in Florida. We didn't move here with family or anything like that. We just moved here on our own. And I just found myself, completely lost in the new roles that I was in, like new nurse, not knowing what I was doing, new mom, like with a new baby. And my teenager was having, some issues with jealousy and all that stuff. And I just remember, I struggled a lot within my pregnancy to keep the pregnancy, because I had infertility issues, and I just kind of let myself go. Like, that became my sole job, was to just make sure that I stayed pregnant and I had that baby. And and then I had this new baby, and I was supposed to be happy because I had tried so hard to have that baby. It was years. It was like miscarriage after miscarriage. It was very disappointing doctor's appointments, and it was just very, very frustrating. And so I had this little baby that I wanted so badly, and I just remember being really sad and not and feeling so guilty because I shouldn't feel sad, and I didn't understand what was going on with me at the time. I was 65 pounds overweight, And we had moved to Florida because I love the beach. And, you know, one day I remember my husband saying, let's go to the beach. And I said, no, I didn't want to go. And that was like a, it was like a moment of like clarity for me. I'm like, what is going on? Like something is off, because the Bianca I know wouldn't say no to going to a beach, right? She wouldn't be sad or like, I'm a very happy, positive, outgoing person. And I remember like crying myself to sleep at night, you know, so something was off and I didn't know what. So I was very frustrated with my weight. You know, I was 65 pounds overweight 11 months after this kid was born. And I kept telling myself, yeah, eventually the weight would come off, but it wasn't, right? I was like doing all kinds of crazy diets and taking diet pills and, you know, buying all kinds of like trying to get like all the quick fixes, and nothing was really working. And that was just adding more to my frustration. So I can't until this day tell you what caused me to act that way. I don't know if it was postpartum depression. I don't know if it was just because I was in a new city and I felt alone. I don't know if it was the weight. I don't know if it was a combination of all those things, but all I know is that I found myself in a really, really dark place and I didn't know how to get myself out of there. So it was at that time that I was watching, like I have a friend from nursing school and she had become a Beachbody coach. And she was sharing, you know, like Beachbody coaches do. I'm sure you guys follow some of them. So you've seen them like posting their sweaty selfies and her amazing transformation and how she was drinking the shake and she was all happy. Meanwhile, I'm miserable on the other side. And I really wanted to give this thing a try, but I was really, really afraid that it wasn't going to work for me, like so many other things that I had tried. And so you know, I ordered it on my own. I tried to do it on my own. I did not have success because I was just following the workouts, not following the nutrition. So that even made me more frustrated. But one day she called me and she, you know, somebody had mentioned to her, I think, I up until this day, I don't know how she knew, but she called me and she said, you know, I really want you to join me in this challenge group. I think it would be really, really great for you. And at that point, I was just so over it that I was like, whatever, you know, whatever you tell me I need to do, I'll do it. And so she sent me a link for me to order a challenge pack. And I went and I bought the challenge pack and I went into this challenge group. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of person, like when I put money, like when I spend money on something, I'm like, I'm going to use it. I'm not going to let my hard work money like go to waste. So I got this challenge pack. It came in a box and I opened it up and I read all the materials and I popped in that DVD. That's what we had back then with DVDs. It was a program called T25 and it was 25 minutes a day. And I told myself, it was 2 months long. I told myself for 2 months, I am going to do everything that this book tells me to do. And so I read that thing like it was my Bible. And I started using it every single day. I started drinking the shakes. I started pushing play. And I started doing whatever she told me to do as far as nutrition. I didn't know anything about anything. All I knew is that I was going to do what I was told because I was tired of doing it my way and having it not work. And so first month I dropped 17 pounds. I felt amazing. And I'm like, this is working. So when you see something working, you're like more excited about it, right? So I was like, I'm going all in. Second month, by the end of the second month, doing T25, drinking Shakeology every day and following the nutrition, I had lost 33 pounds. And I was just in shock of the fact that it was actually working. Like, I was like, oh, you mean this nutrition stuff like really works? And so I was so ecstatic about it. I was just like so pumped. And in my nursing floor, when I went to work, everybody kept asking me, like, what are you doing? Because they saw like 33 pounds is a lot of weight, you guys. And my scrubs were literally like falling off my butt. And everybody was like, what are you doing? Whatever you're doing, I want to do it too. You know, I need to know what this is. And so they started asking me. So I would go to my coach, which is my friend. And I told her, I was like, hey, this girl wants to do it. And this girl wants to do it. Like, everybody wants to do it. And she's like, okay, well, you should be a coach. Like, you would be an amazing coach. Now, I just looked at her like she had 7 heads. I'm like, okay, so I'm still overweight. I barely know what I'm doing. You know, how do you figure, I don't have time. Like, I have a baby at home and I'm trying to figure out this nutrition thing. Like, how do you figure I'm going to be a coach? And so she was like, no, you can totally do it. There's a training online and we'll teach you and you'd be amazing. And, you know, and I, up until this day, I think it was just like, maybe it was like the lack of sugar on my head or something, but I was like, you know what, I can do this. I'll do this. I'm going to learn and I'm going to do this. And so I took that leap of faith. It was in September, or it was October of 2013. And the rest is kind of history. I just kind of like hit the ground running. I was inviting people to join my challenge groups. It took me a little time to like actually treat the business as a business. It wasn't until Valentina was born that I was actually like, so like 2 years after that, that I actually saw the light and I started to see like the income potential. Up until that point, my money went into a different account. I didn't even know how much money I made. I was just so excited that I was helping people and that they were messaging me and telling me like, thank you, you know, you've helped me change my life. And I remember I had a friend who was really like severely overweight, and she had just been diagnosed with diabetes and she was put on insulin. And she was in my first challenge group and she did exactly what I told her to do. And she was showing up every day and she was able to reverse that. Like she was able to get off her insulin. And that was just such a light bulb moment for me, because I was working in a hospital, but I wasn't feeling like what I was doing was even making a difference. And all I felt like I was really doing was like passing around medications. I really didn't feel like I was making an impact on anybody's life. And that's what I really wanted to do as a nurse. Like I really wanted to help people get healthy. And it really didn't feel that way while I was a nurse. But then when I started coaching and I started to see like how that health, like just people paying attention to their health and committing to their nutrition and working out, like how that was transforming their lives, like people reversing diabetes and, you know, just feeling better overall. And I saw it on myself, you know, mostly because I was so tired all the time. I was so like, I had no energy. I just felt like crap. And like, mostly it was the like depression that I was in. And it wasn't until I actually focused on that positive thing, which was for me, totally my health and just kind of focusing on the nutrition. It wasn't until that all happened that I realized how miserable I was and how much that, you know, challenge group and just focusing on my health and on myself, like how much that actually helps me turn that around and kind of like dig myself out of that hole. So I was so grateful. I just felt like every single mom or, you know, person out there needed to know that there was a solution, that they didn't have to like look for quick fixes, that they could actually use something that was like healthy for them, that they could like be healthy from the inside out. And so this was 6 years ago, you guys, and I'm still as passionate about it today. Even I would say even more passionate about it today, because not only did I lose that weight, maintain it, I've completely transformed my body. I'm 41 years old. I feel better now than I did in my 30s. You know, I have helped so many women have that like light bulb go off where they understand what it feels like to actually be healthy for the first time, to actually be like influencing their children to work out and eat healthy, and just like the gratification that I get from what I do on a day-to-day basis, it just pumps me up for this opportunity. So I'm gonna let Camilla share a little bit of her story as well, because I can sit here all night and talk about this, because again, like I am so passionate about it, and I'm so grateful for everything that's happened to me. And one of the main things that I am grateful for is our community and the people that I've met through coaching. And Camilla is one of them, and she's going to share with you a little bit of how she came into coaching. So I'm a grandma coach. I've been around for 6 years. She is a little bit younger. She's a younger coach. So I'm going to let her unmute and share with you guys her story.
Hi. Did you guys hear me? So I am a little nervous. This is probably my first call that I'm doing. I'm excited to be doing this call. My story is pretty similar to Bianca's. I joined also because I had baby weight 8 months after I actually lost my daughter. Yeah, let's try not to get emotional too quick, but I had about 20 pounds to lose. And Bianca had already reached out to me maybe a year before, and I had completely turned her down. I was like, no, I'm not ready. Maybe in the future, you know, who knows? And I always had it in the back of my head, like, oh, you know, it sounds like something that would be great. I mean, but who knows, maybe in the future. And go figure, right after I got pregnant, and then I was like, okay, now is definitely not the time, because I didn't think I'm going to exercise and, you know, do a nutrition while I'm pregnant. So maybe later. So then after everything that happened, I lost my daughter, Bianca reached out again. And this was 8 months after, and I had the baby weight. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to begin. I didn't have the energy. I didn't know what, like I said, I was completely lost. So not only, sorry guys, but if I'm talking about my journey and my story, it is hard. I was, I said, you know what, I'm never going to be ready, but right now I have this baby weight to lose. I need to get my life back. And it's going to be good for me. I know it's going to be good for me. It was perfect timing. So I really didn't have the money to sign in right away, but I told my husband, listen, I need to do this. This is important. And he obviously, he supported me and he helped. And we bought the challenge pack, and I just got so excited to, start my first challenge. And I was like, I'm going to go all in and, do this the right way, because like Bianca said, if I put my money in it, I'm not going to put it to waste, and I want to get the maximum results. So I actually lost it was 9 pounds the first 21 days. And then I want to say maybe 2 months, 3 months into it, I had already lost the whole 20 pounds. But not just that, it was the community, the challenge groups, just built me up so much from, where I was and everything that was going on. And the community just was amazing. It changed my whole life to have so many encouraging women, just empowering and showing up for themselves and just inspiring me to do the same. I signed up as a coach for the discount because I figured, if I like it, I'm going to buy it. I need the discount. I knew that there was a potential of income, but I didn't think I was even going to sell one challenge pack maybe. But it just attracted so many people so quickly with, the results, and everybody started asking, what are you doing? What is it that you're doing? And I just started sharing. And while I was sharing, because I was already a coach, Bianca, had already taught me, and the company gives you trainings on how to sign up people. And then I saw that money coming in and the potential, and I was like, wow, I can make a little extra income with this. And it's been 2.5 years that I joined. And I want to say maybe I was a hobby coach. They call it a hobby coach. I've been doing it because I loved it. I know it works. And I think the community is so much fun. And I just love all the girls that I've met and all the girls that I've helped. And I love seeing people's results. And, coming from where I came from emotionally, I've seen so many people with depression just become happier and become themselves again. Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to cry. So again, I'm so thankful for this opportunity. And 2.5 years doing this, I am able to leave my job and be home with my kids, and it just means so much to me because I didn't think it was possible. I really didn't. With this whole pandemic going on, I invested a lot of my time because it's something I became passionate about. Something that I love to do is to help other people, be better and be happier, because that's what I've done for myself. So this whole month was dedicated to helping other people, and the impact was crazy. I even doubted myself at the beginning of the month, like, how are we going to make this work? How are we going to share this with other people when some people are laid off right now? They don't have a job. I don't know what people are going to do. But, I feel like when people make something a priority, or they find that it is important to them, and out of every season, now they have the time to do it. So when they find it important, they will invest And thankfully, a lot of those people and a lot of those girls were like, okay, now I have time. I don't have any excuse. I spent money on so many other things that haven't benefit me. I need to do this. So I was so happy to help those ladies. And April was an amazing month. It really showed me the potential that this business gives when you give it your all. And when you really decide, okay, am I going to do this part time or am I going to do this full time? And it gives you a path because you make that decision. You can do it part time, you can do it full time. And in such a short period of time that I put all my time into it, it was it was great. And me and my husband having the time that I did in April, I know that there's no wrong. It can't go wrong. It's just a matter of I have to create goals and I have to stick to it, because if I do it full time, I know the potential, because that's what the business offers. And I was so happy that when we sat down with the income and versus the expenses, it just didn't make sense for me to go back to work and pay someone to watch all three kids. So bottom line, that's where it came down to. But then I was so happy that we were able to use the income as an example to be like, yeah, this is it. This could work for our family. So yeah, I'm still like overwhelmed because I have another week and a half to go at my current job that I've been there for 6 years. And I know it's going to be hard leaving just because, we build families and friendships in there. But it's the best thing for me and my family right now. And I've worked hard for this. I guess all of us, probably moms, have in common is we want to have more time with our children. We want to be able to have freedom. And honestly, I love being a dental assistant, but I didn't love being stuck in an office from 9 to 5.
I don't know. Can you guys hear her? Because I can't. Camilla, I think you went a little. Yeah, you got.
Opportunity.
Yeah, there you are. Can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. You went frozen or muted or something happened right there. But I think
it might be my internet.
yeah, maybe. Well, either way, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your story. I know that was hard for you. So just so you guys know, I was like, Camilla, you're doing the call with me today. She's like, what? I don't know if I can. I'm like, yes, you can. Let's do it. So like, this is what coaching is in a nutshell. It's me and, everybody else just pushing you to get out of your comfort zone and to do things that make you want to vomit, but that are good for you, because in our comfort zone, there's like no growth. And so I actually made a post today. I talked about that, like how coaching, like people look at me now and they're like, wow, I would never be able to make a post like you or talk like you or, do a business opportunity call like you. And I just want you guys to know, like, it took time for me to feel comfortable doing these things. And I'm actually, most people don't even believe this about me, but I'm very into myself. Like I'm an introvert. I'm not an extrovert. Everybody thinks that I am, but I am not. I'm very introverted and I'm very shy. And it took me a really long time to get to where I am. And I know I'm so grateful for this business and for all the opportunities to speak and to work on that and just to overcome those fears, because it's very liberating to think that you can never do something. And then when you figure out that oh my gosh, I can do this. It's like, okay, if I can do this, I can do, that. And you start, you just start doing things that you didn't dream were possible for you. So thank you, Camilla, for sharing that story. I just love your story and how much you've grown and bloomed, in this whole, and this throughout this journey, just watching you with your transformation. She's like, you guys need to follow her if you don't all follow her. She's the picture of consistency. She makes no excuses. She has like that little boy, that's one right there. She's been working her business this entire time, that whole transformation with that baby. And at times it was, you know, her doing her workout with him in a little bouncy seat next to her, and, you know, pausing 10 times to pick him up because he wanted to be held, and through like teething and everything. Like, she has always just done this with like a smile on her face and just been such an inspiration. And that's why she's having so much success with her business. I really say, like, people ask me, what's the key? Like, what makes people, because you probably know somebody who has become a coach who didn't have success with this business. And you probably heard their stories and said, no, it's hard. And, you know, there's just so much that you have to do. And so you probably heard those things. And then you see people who have had success, you know, and you want to know, like, what's the difference? What makes one person successful and not the other? And if you ask me, it's consistency. That's all it is. Like, everybody can be successful at this if they choose not to give up, if they choose to, you know, keep going whenever they fail, because you will fail. I've failed many times. I fail every day. I actually failed yesterday eating pizza. So you know, it's a constant thing. You always just pick yourself back up and you learn the lesson and you keep moving on. But to get into the meat of the call, now that you know a little bit more about us, there's other coaches on our team, but I usually just select a couple to do the opportunity calls with me, so you guys can get an idea that it's not like you don't have to know everything to be a coach. And there's a starting point for everybody, right? So I am 6 years into it. You might find it a little hard to relate to me when it comes to coaching, because I do this full time, and it looks a little different for me because I've been doing this for a long time. But there are, you know, so many coaches in our team that are pretty new and that are having really great success. So I always want to showcase that, because anybody can be successful at this. So if you don't know what Beachbody is, right? Maybe you're here and you've done a challenge group with us, and that's probably where like 80% of our coaches come from. They do the programs, they have really awesome success. People start to ask, and then they're like, you know, maybe I can do this coaching thing that you do. What is it all about? And so a lot of times this call is held for those people, and they know exactly what's a challenge group. But sometimes people are just attracted to the income opportunity, or they see a post on Facebook or Instagram, and they have no idea what Beachbody is. So if you don't know what Beachbody is, Beachbody's been a company that's been around for a really long time. They actually started off with infomercials back in 1998, so it's been a while. It's a company that's been around for quite some time. And it started off with programs like P90X and Insanity. So you might have heard of those, but not know that it was Beachbody. So at that time, they were very successful selling the programs, but they realized that some people were buying the programs and sticking them in a shelf and never really doing anything with them. And they, you know, they started to notice that there were these like forums, and in these forums, there were some people that were buying the programs and they were helping other people do the programs, giving them tips and kind of supporting them. And so Beachbody had this clever idea of saying, okay, well, what if we started like a coaching network and we rewarded people for helping other people get through the programs? And that's pretty much how the coaching network was born. Now, it is very similar to it's not very similar. It is a multi-level marketing company, but it looks very different in the way we do our compensation plan, and just even in the way that we market ourselves, and in the fact that you can actually join the business or you can join as a client. So there's that separation there that kind of like makes us a little bit different than most multi-level marketing companies. And so they found that the secret to success, right, for people was not just to have the fitness, but also to have the nutrition and the accountability. And so that is what coaches provide. And we host these things monthly called challenge groups. And in these challenge groups, we welcome people that may have never done a fitness program before. And we help couple them with a program that will be perfect for them. So we listen to their goals and, you know, how much time they have available, and what kind of, what are they trying to accomplish? Are they trying to lose weight? Are they trying to tone? You know, what kind of workouts do they do? And so we match them up with what I call them like their soulmate workout. And then we help, they go online and they purchase a challenge pack, which is what Camilla was saying before. And in this challenge pack, they get, you know, access to the workouts, they get a nutrition guide, and then they also get supplements. And then when they receive that package, we have them in a challenge group, which is what you're seeing here. Like when we start a program together, we take pictures together and we create this community where everybody's kind of doing the programs and we are supporting one another. And we provide them with meal plans and, you know, recipes and just tips on how to get it done. Because a lot of times people know what they need to do, they just don't know how to get it done. right? If you have little kids at home, you're like, how am I supposed to work out with a newborn? Then there's Camilla in there saying, you know what, this is how I do it. And she'll teach you, and then, or somebody else, like I had a lot of this when I started, because I used to work at nighttime. I used to be a nighttime nurse. And so people were like, okay, how do I do that? How do I schedule my eating and do this every 2-hour eating if I'm, sleeping during the day? And so I would come in and help them. And so, that we always run our groups together as a team. So you don't have just the help of one coach, you have the help of like an entire team. And we're also different. Some of us work outside the home, some of us are stay-at-home moms, most of us work or have some kind of a career. And so we're so different in what we do. We have teachers, nurses, just so many, an array of people, and they all just bring, something different to the table. And when that person comes into our challenge group, they're loved on, they're helped, they're given the support that they need to complete these programs. And that is where they see success. So as coaches, what we do on a daily basis is we use the programs ourselves. So we're constantly doing a workout program. We're constantly sharing that on Facebook. We follow the nutrition 80% of the time. Nobody's perfect, but we do, we preach a life of balance. So 80% of the time we eat healthy, 20% of the time we live life. And so, it's a life of balance, and we like showcasing that and teaching people that, nutrition is not a punishment. Exercise is not a punishment. This is not something that you do because you're trying to get a bikini body. Sometimes I think that the name beach body is kind of misleading because people, assume that we're all striving to get beach bodies, which we're not. We're really in it just to feel healthy and to impact the lives of others around us, especially for us and our team. We're very big family people, so we're really big into inspiring our children and teaching them what eating healthy looks like. And so we follow the four vital behaviors, which are being a product of the product, so following the programs and showing how they work. We also recognize achievement. So when somebody does something really cool, we encourage them, we support them, and we shout them out because we really think that, recognition is an important part of our business. We invite people to join us in our challenge groups. So every single day we're out there in our social media talking about our challenge groups and inviting people to join us. And then we also do personal development, which is a really, really big part of what we do. And it's actually my favorite part of what we do, because it is through personal development that I have actually been able to change my mindset. It's really cool to change your body, but if you don't change how your mind operates and how, your negative thoughts, like if you don't have control over that, then it really doesn't, you're not really changing. And so we really do a lot of work on our mindset, and we kind of throw that positivity out there into the world. And I think that is why we have such a good reputation when it comes to, social media, and people like to follow us. And a lot of times people follow us, they don't even want to join us, but they follow us because they love, the encouragement, the inspiration that we provide on a day-to-day basis. And we're very big about, just adding light into the world. That's pretty much like, that's why we're called in our team, our team name is Rise to Shine. And the reason for that is we really feel like we're called to shine our light and just help, people out of the darkness of the world. So what do you need to do in order to be successful in this business, right? A lot of people ask me like, well, I think it's cool for other people, but I don't think I can do it. And so let me just clarify some myths, because I know a lot of times people think that they have to already be like some kind of a fitness expert or to have some kind of background in nutrition to be a great coach. I had nothing like that. I was 65 pounds overweight when I started, and I was very successful from day one, from when I started. And so you don't need any of that, because you will be actually following professionals that actually know what they're doing. And so we get all that guidance from them. We don't have to teach people how to work out. We don't have to teach people how to eat. All of that comes with their challenge pack. We really just have to teach them how to follow it. And that's something that you will get training to do. You don't have to have knowledge of fitness or nutrition. You also don't need a very large social media following. I actually got asked this question today. Like, how do you start off if you have a very small following, right? So if you don't have a whole lot of friends on Facebook, let's say, or if your Instagram following is very modest. So how do you build that? So what we use as coaches is something called attraction marketing. And in order for that to be successful, you need eyes on you. So we really have to work together to increase your following before that will work. Because if you're talking, if you have 100 people and you invite 100 people and 100 people say no, which is very possible, you know, a lot of times what I see when you first start off is like your friends and family are not the first people that are excited to join you. And I'm just going to be honest with you. So while you might invite them and you might find a couple people that are willing to do it, that's really not going to get you very far in this business. So what I teach my team and what I advocate for is finding friends on Instagram, finding friends, finding new followers, and just opening up your expanding your network as much as possible. So you may not believe this, but when I started, I had no Instagram, and on my Facebook was 400 people. Probably like 200 of those were my family that don't live in this country because I'm from Brazil. And then the other 200 are maybe like, you know, people from high school that I hadn't talked to in ages. So I felt very awkward talking to them and inviting them to join me in a challenge group. So what I did back then, and this is specific to everybody, right? So I would probably like encourage you to start thinking as you hear this story of like what that group of people would be for you. But for me, I was like, what separates me from other people? Because there's so many Beachbody coaches out there. So what makes me special? And I remember thinking, you know what, I'm Brazilian. I may not be the best, you know, coach. I may not be like the best coach and that have the biggest network, but I'm Brazilian. I have something unique to offer. So I actually went into like all of these like little groups that had Brazilian people on it, and I started advertising. And I actually grew my Facebook. So today it's I have to, you know, unfriend people on a weekly basis because I have 5,000 friends on there, and I've already invited all of those people. So I'm like constantly, okay, let's add some more people on here. But basically, I created my following that way, was just making friends with people. And I didn't really have many people that knew me that joined me. I honestly don't have anybody in my family that is a coach. A lot of them don't even support me. So to be honest with you guys, I'm a very, very big advocate that you need to create a following for yourself. Like you need to go find people. And the way you do that is really by growing your social media, growing your Facebook, you know, finding friends. I've requested a lot of friends from like these groups, just posting in there and then just finding people who I wanted to work with. The same thing on Instagram. I just followed a bunch of people, I just find people that I want to work with, and I grow my Instagram that way. And that's also, you get training for that as well, like how to find hashtags and how to grow your Instagram following in an organic way so that you're attracting people that actually like what you have to post. And I'll tell you, I prefer 100 times working with somebody that I don't know to working with a friend or, you know, family member. And that's just because they listen to you better. They actually position you as a coach, and your friends and family, they look at you like, oh, but you're not really a coach. Like, who are you trying to tell me? You know, so it's easier for me to work with a stranger than it is for me to work with somebody I know. And this is what I teach my team, like grow that Instagram, you know, post some stories. Instagram is there's so many people on there, and it's so easy to find people and to make new connections. And I don't ever just look for it like, oh, okay, who's going to be my next coach or who's going to be my next challenger? I'm just like, do I want to be friends with this person? And then like, do I want to follow them? Do they have something to add to my life? And I have a lot of people on there that follow me that will probably never be a coach or a customer, but have become friends. Like people that send me cards when my grandma passed away, like people that actually care about my life, you know, that care about me, that I may never meet in person, but are actual friends. And so I feel like I do a really good job doing that on Instagram. And that's what I teach my team. Basically, I don't even work much with Facebook anymore, but a lot of Instagram and just trying to grow. And you do get training for that kind of stuff. So you don't need that large social media following. You do need, though, this is the number one tip that I would tell you, is to identify what's special about you, because that's what I did. You know, and everybody has something special about them that they have to offer the world. And basically, when I work with people, like when I initially sign a coach, they're a little confused on that because they sometimes don't realize that what they have to offer. And so that takes a little bit of digging, you know, like it takes a little bit of groundwork on our part to just figure out what it is that you have to offer. But then once we nail that down and you really figure out who you want to work with, it becomes very easy to find them, and it becomes very easy to speak to them in a way. Like if you're speaking to your person, they're going to hear what you have to say. So it really is about niching down, figuring out what you are all about and what you have to offer, and then just kind of following people that are interested in that. You do need to have a positive attitude. There is no negative Nellies allowed. And then a willingness to learn, and most importantly, to stay coachable. You are going to, when you first start out, you just don't know the business. And that's not, to say anything about you. It's just that you don't know the business. And so we take our time to offer you the same system that worked for us. So, this is 6 years ago. We're very fortunate. We have a coach, an upline coach that is very, she knows what she's doing. She's been doing this for a while, and she's really amazing. And she offers all of her resources to us. So the same system that she uses is the system that we use. There's no need to reinvent the wheel, right? It's working. So why would we mess with it? Obviously, she knows what she's doing, and obviously it's working for me. So there's no reason for for you to come in as a new coach and say, okay, how do I do this? Like, you don't have to. You just follow the system, and we'll coach you on that. But you have to, remain open to coaching and just kind of follow the directions, and you'll be 100% fine. So how do we make money? Because this is a big question. It is the first money that you're going to make is probably look like a lot of commissions, because you do earn 25% commissions on all of the sales that you make. So what you have is a link, and you will send that to your customers. You don't have to purchase anything. So that's another thing that kind of differentiates us from most other MLMs, because, if like Avon or, I don't even know, Unique or whatever it is, those companies that require you to purchase a lot of inventory and then resell it, we don't do that. So basically what we do is when you sign up as a coach, you get a website, and you go there and you put your little picture on there, and you create your little bio. And when someone is interested, you're going to send them that link, and they're going to order through that link. When anybody orders anything through that link, you get a 25% commission. It's beautiful. It gets deposited into your account on Thursdays. So tomorrow's payday. We're very excited about that. We're always excited for Thursdays. So anything that they order, you get a 25% commission on. That's pretty flat, and that's pretty easy. That's the initial way that most people earn money. There is a way, though, that actually creates residual income. And this is basically when you're talking about substantial income, like the kind that you're like, I'm leaving my nursing job because I'm making the same kind of money doing. When we're talking about, an actual salary that you can look forward to and depend on to pay your bills, now we're talking about team cycle bonuses. And that's more reliable, because sales, you may have like 10 sales in 1 week and then not have any sales the next. And that's just the nature of the game, because sometimes people are just broke. It's the middle of the month, they don't have money. And so, you'll notice that you have bigger paychecks in the beginning of the month or on the 15th, because that's when people get paid. And that's fine. But when you're relying on this for an income, then you really have to think about, like, how can I create residual income so that I know what kind of money I can count on to pay my bills? And that comes from building a team. And so you don't have to create a team if that's not what you want. You just want to, sell some challenge packs and make some commissions. That's fine. That's on you. You choose how to run your business. Kind of like Camilla said, nobody's going to tell you how to run your business. You're going to figure that out for yourself. We'll guide you. We'll give you some ideas, and we'll direct you in the right direction. But at the end of the day, you're going to tell us how you want to run your business. I chose to create a team because I knew that there was residual income in that, and because I wanted to create a community. I never wanted to be that lonely girl again. I wanted to have my team to work out with me in the mornings, to go on team retreats with, to go on vacations with, to build a life with, and to just link arms with and just grow together. So that was my vision. And that actually rewarded me, because I get something called team cycle bonuses, which far outweighs the commissions that I get, like by far. And so when you're talking about, a bigger income, you really have to start thinking about, how can I build a team? Who are other people that are going to do this business with me? Because that's when it's not like what they make is theirs. So Camilla is my coach, and Camilla sells a challenge pack today. She gets, let's say for our cheapest challenge pack, it's $50 commission. She gets $50. I don't get any of that money. That goes all to Camilla. So I don't make money off of Camilla. But what Camilla produces as a distributor or as a coach does cycle. So it does create volume. And so Beachbody, this team cycle bonus that I'm talking about, is a way of Beachbody rewarding us for training our coach as well. So if our team is producing and they're creating a lot of volume, we get cycle bonuses, and those go up. The more that the team produces, the more I make. Doesn't take away from what my coaches make, and actually adds to their pot as well. So every time they sell a challenge pack, it cycles through all of the coaches in our team. So when one person is successful, it helps everybody be successful. So that's pretty much how it works. There is no like, there's no pyramid scheme. Like Camilla just started. She's 2 years into the business and I'm 6 years into the business. Next year, if Camilla continues at the pace that she's going, she could far surpass me in income. You know, there is no ceiling for that. So it's not just because I'm her upline, I'm always going to make more money than her. That it doesn't happen. Like that's a pyramid scheme. That doesn't happen here because I don't make money off of what Camilla makes, if that makes sense. But I do get rewarded for what my team produces. So that's my incentive for being a good leader, providing training, to always, you know, hosting business opportunity calls for them and doing things for them and with them, so that they can continue to grow. And as they grow, I also get rewarded for that. So it's a win-win for everybody. And you do get rank advancement bonuses as you grow up in rank. We have like emerald rank, diamond rank, star diamond, and super diamond. And every time you go to one of those ranks, your income also goes up because you get a raise on those cycle bonuses. There are other perks as well to being a coach. All paid for trips, which was really cool. That one on the bottom there is our cruise that happened last year. It was super fun. So every year we get, like if you help 3 customers a month, every single month, you get an all paid for trip for you and your family. And that last year we went on a cruise. This year we were supposed to go to Punta Cana, but it got canceled because of the coronavirus. So but we do get them every year. We also have team retreats. That picture right there on the left is of one that we just did to Pigeon Forge in February. That was just for our team that we threw together. We went up to this mountain. It was so much fun. We had like a girls' weekend. It was amazing. It was such a blast. And so we do that as well. Twice a year, we plan on doing that. And then becoming the healthiest version of you. I mean, honestly, 6 years after I lost that weight, I'm still here. And I can honestly tell you, I'm the healthiest I've ever been. And that is one thing that the business, you know, even if the business fails, that can't be taken away from you. If you follow the programs, at the very least, you walk away feeling healthier. And so I think that is just the #1 perk right there. If you think of nothing else and you help, not one single person buys a challenge pack from you, but you help yourself, it's worth it. Like you helped too. And to me, I've always thought about it that way. I signed up with that mentality. I'll help myself. You know, if nobody else wants to do this with me, fine. I'll do it and I'll get healthy. And so I think that's the major perk right there. More positive mindset, attitude, absolutely. I'm 100% different than what I was 6 years ago. You guys would not recognize me if you knew me back then. Definitely more energy and finding purpose. Like for me, I always thought my purpose was to, you know, be a nurse, like help people get healthy, but that way, and it had, you know, it just looks different. I still use my nursing degree. I'm just working on the preventive side now. And I love it. It definitely is something that lights my fire. Like I wake up excited to work my business. It's never like, oh man, it's Monday, this sucks and I have to go sit in my, like, it's like, yeah, I get to work my business today. Like I'm so excited. And I really am, because I get to hear their stories and, you know, have people tell me that, you know, they lost the weight, they got to their goal weight, or they're feeling so amazing, and they're, you know, their kids are working out, and, you know, their husbands are eating better. And it's just so fulfilling for me. And I really do believe that I found my purpose in all of this. And then being a part of our amazing community. Camilla touched on this. You know, it really is different. It's just, I've never been in a community like this. I came from the background of nursing and flight attendants, and it's nothing like this. Like we really do encourage and support each other. So how do I join? You know, you have to talk to the person who invited you here. Let them know what you're interested in. Basically, you can choose your path. You can decide if you're going to be a discount coach. For us, it makes no difference if you sign up as a coach or a customer. So you really have to think like, what is it that I want, right? Do I see myself doing this, you know, possibly in the future? Do I see myself doing it now? Like, do I really need this income and I need to make money tomorrow? Like, think about it. What is it that attracted you? What do you want out of it, right? And then you can become a discount coach. And the discount coaches, they actually don't make any sales. They sign up just for the discount, because when you become a coach, you actually get 25% off of all the products as well. So, you know, everything that like people would purchase as a client, you would get it at a 25% discount. So a lot of people just choose to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Lots of people sign up as discount coaches and then later on become hobby coaches and then business builders. I'm one of them. So it can definitely happen to you. You don't have to make any sales. You don't have to post anything. You can just, you know, sign up as a discount coach, go into the challenge group, see how it works for you. There's no obligation. You can always cancel it at any time. So you're not, you're not signing your life away. There's no contract or anything like that. You can also be a hobby coach. This is a path that a lot of people take when they first start. They usually have a full-time job and other obligations, so they don't really feel like they can commit to building a business right away. So they love the products. They are really excited about what it's doing for them, and they have no problems talking about it, posting about it, and inviting people to join the challenge groups. And they really would like welcome the extra income, but they don't see themselves like working with it full time. And that's very common when people first start. And there's also the business builder that's all in. That's like, all right, I want all of the trainings that you have. I want to learn everything there is to know about the business. I really want to leave my job and do this full time. And I just want to know, like, what do I need to do to be successful? So you really have to just think about it. Like, what is it for you? What do you want? And like I had said before, it's not about what we want for you, it's about what you want. And once you tell us what kind of coach or customer or whatever you're going to be, we're going to support you with that. Like, we're going to give you the resources that you need to be successful with whatever it is that you want to do, not us, right? We don't impose anything on anybody. So then you're going to sign up at the challenge pack, because the challenge pack really is like the best way to sign up, because you get access to the programs. First of all, it's bundled and it's discounted, right? So if you buy everything separate, you pay more. So customers or coaches alike, they pay the same price to join with a challenge pack. So you get the workout programs, you get the nutrition, and you also get a 30-day supply of the supplements. It can be Shakeology, which a lot of people love because it helps with weight loss, or it can be the pre and the post workout. And a lot of people love that because they see me sharing it on Instagram a lot, and they're like, I want whatever it is that you're drinking. So you choose whichever one you want. And then when you sign up with a challenge pack, you have your coaching fee, which is $40. So it costs $40 to become a Beachbody coach. When you sign up with a challenge pack, you don't have to pay that. It's waived. So you actually become a coach for free. You can try it for free for 30 days. And then if you decide to stay as a coach, you'll be charged $15.95 every month. And that's to keep your website active. That's to keep your discount, working. That's to enable you to earn commissions. So everything is to keep you as an active coach. You pay $16 a month, and that's basically all it costs to run your business. So it's actually pretty good. And if you're military, or married to military, you don't have to pay that. So that's actually free as well for military, which is cool. So allow yourself to dream. That's my invitation to you guys today, because I try to run through this presentation as fast as I could and give you all the information. And you may be sitting there like still like head spinning, like I'm not really sure if this is for me. And you may have some questions still, and that's okay. I find that a lot of times people ask themselves like, well, what if I do this and, people make fun of me? Or what if I do this and it doesn't work out? What if it's not for me? Or what if I suck at it? What if I never find a customer? Like but they think about all the negative things, right? They don't think about like, well, what if I rock? What if I'm like really awesome at this? What if I was meant to do this? What if I lose, the 30 pounds I've been trying to lose this whole time? What if, I come in and this is exactly the opportunity? Like, you have to allow yourself to dream. But dream for the positive, dream for the good. Don't just think of like what could come out of it that's negative. Think about it like what could it actually do for you? Like, would it be helpful for you and your family to have an extra income at this time? Right? And what if this was the solution? What if this was the thing that was actually going to allow you to be home with your kids like Camilla is? Like, just think about it, because I'll be honest with you guys, when I signed up, I wasn't expecting it to be what it is. 100%. Like, I have to be 100% honest with you guys. I didn't think the fitness was going to work. I never thought that I was going to be a coach. And even when I signed up to be a coach, I didn't think anybody was going to join me. I thought I was going to, talk and post and invite, and nobody was going to join. But guess what? 300 coaches in our organization tell, a different story. We've grown so much, and I really love what we have, not just in, the growth and, doing well with the business. That's all amazing. But I love like what our community means to me, and just how much we can depend on one another and how much we support each other. Like, I know if I have nobody else in the world, I have my team, and these girls are always there for me. And so that means everything. That means everything. I didn't think that, when I was doing this, that I would ever see my 18-year-old say, I'm going to pass up on pizza tonight and eat grilled chicken because I know that is going to make me feel better. Like, I never in a million years would have thought that this is what it was going to lead to. So you have to really you don't have to think about what is going to, like, what's possible that's going to be negative. You have to think about, wow, could it be like that? It's going to be pretty awesome. right? So I want to encourage you to think that way. And then ask your questions, right? Ask your questions. I never want to pressure anybody or to talk anybody into coaching. My thing is always all the information's at the table. We are an open book. Any question that you have to ask, we'll tell you. We gain nothing but by like pressuring you or like trying to convince you to join for you to, a week into realize that, oh man, I didn't know this. Like, this is not for me. We gain nothing by that. We really gain something when we sign people up for our team who are excited to join this business, who know exactly what they're getting into, who are willing and ready to work, and they're coachable and they're excited. Like, that's what we gain, and that's the kind of energy that we want on our team. So if you have any questions at all, that was your time to ask. I'm going to stop the share. I didn't look at the chat, so I don't know if there's any questions. Hi, Kasia. How are you? All right, does anybody have any questions about anything at all? Anything that we talked about? You can unmute, you can put it in the chat box. I'm sorry we went over time. I did not mean for it to go this long. I can talk a lot. My throat is dry. I talk so much. Must have been a good call. Nobody has any questions. It is a lot of information, and I know that when we do these calls, it can feel overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, this sounds like a lot, and it is and it isn't, because it's the business itself is very simple. You do the workouts, you teach other people how to do it. You invite them to do it, and you teach them how, and you show them exactly what you're doing, and then you teach them how to teach other people, and basically that's all it is. It's just the wheel keeps turning, and you keep like creating this little ripple effect. It starts with you, and before you know it, like, you have all these people following you and doing it as well. And it's, I think it's the most amazing opportunity. I really do. Like, honestly, I don't know where my life would be without Beachbody. I love what I do. So if nobody has any questions, we'll go ahead and, finalize. So if you're watching and you decide that this is for you, you need to reach out to the person who invited you and let them know what about the presentation, you liked, what you're excited about. Let them know whatever questions you have, and let them know how you want to sign up. If you want to sign up as a customer, a discount coach, a hobby coach, if you're all in. We do have a coach training that's going to be starting, not this week, not this Monday, but the next Monday. So, and we have a challenge group that starts next Monday. So May 18th starts challenge groups, nutrition focus. And then I forget the date, but it's whatever the Monday is after this Monday. That's when the new coach training will start. So we'll have both of those. You will, if you join as a coach, right, you will start off in the challenge group so that you can understand like how it's run, and you can become your challenger when you first start, because you need your first transformation to start posting and your experience with the group in order to be able to explain to people what is it like. People are like, oh, I want that Shakeology. What does it taste like? Like, I don't know, I've never tried it. No, you have to like do the challenge group, kind of go through it as a challenger, kind of learn the ropes. You'd be like a coach in training. And simultaneously, as you're doing the workouts and as you're learning how a challenge group works and you're working on your fitness, you will also be learning about the business. And as you get like very simple training in the beginning, it's just like how to share what you're doing. Basically, that's what we're going to teach you, is like, how do you take what you're doing in the challenge group and how do you share that transformation, and how do you invite people to join you? So we'll kind of give you some scripts and stuff like for that. So it's very, very easy. Like the first month of training is very simple, very basic stuff, just as you learning, because we really want you to focus on your journey first. That really is important. Like even up to this day, for us, if our journey is not, if we're not doing well with our fitness journey, our business doesn't do well either. So for us, it's always about the fitness journey first. If you're having success there, and if you're following your program and you're feeling good and you're making progress, naturally you're going to have a transformation. Naturally, people are going to want to join you. Naturally, your business will take off. So it is like, there's a priority there. And our first priority is always like, how are you doing? Are you doing well with your fitness program? What kind of, resources do you need? Like, let's work on you so that once you get that mastered, then you're able to help other people as well. If that makes sense. All right, you guys are good? No questions? All right. Well, y'all have a good night. Thank you, Camila, for co-hosting with me. And if you guys have any questions, just make sure you reach out to the person who invited you and let them know. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.